What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the shelf, and today we are talking about Ryan Coogler's new film, Sinners. Right off the bat, I will say that this is going to be a spoiler-free review, so if you're just looking for general thoughts, you're in the right place. Bit of a frame of reference for how I went into this film. I have been avoiding spoilers for this movie for what feels like months now. I really didn't want to know anything about it. I've been hearing about this movie since day one when I saw the headlines saying that multiple studios were in a bidding war over Ryan Coogler's new vampire film. Needless to say, I was super intrigued by that headline, and I've been fairly excited for the movie ever since. I've enjoyed nearly all of Coogler's films up until now, especially Creed, which I think is basically a masterpiece. So hearing that Coogler was going to be able to tell a unique story outside of any IP, and that it was going to be a vampire film, had me pretty excited. So let's jump into the review and talk about all the things I liked about Sinners, and then at the end we'll talk about the small handful of things that I didn't really love about it. Something I really loved about this film is the music. The movie has a strong focus on blues music from the 1930s, and it permeates the entire film. It's got such a soulful energy to it that really reinforces the themes of the film, which consist of cultural appropriation, religion, and spirituality. The music will also occasionally diverge into these high-pitched orchestral stings that feel more epic during some of the more intense scenes. And there is also some Irish folk music that provides a nice juxtaposition to the majority of the very bluesy score. The film also looks great. It was shot on film, and you can tell. Great cinematography, great sound design. Sinners really is bursting with style. It's really cool to get to see Coogler put his talents to something that's clearly very personal to him, that isn't a Marvel movie or something. The cast of characters are also all really great. The first act of the film is essentially Michael B. Jordan playing the two main characters, going around town and recruiting people to help with the opening night of their newly opened Club Juke. The characters they recruit consist of blues musicians, bartenders, and various other friends, all coming together to make everything go smoothly. This film is also much funnier than I expected it to be. I laughed a good amount. The characters all feel fully realized, and you can feel the history that they all have with one another, which adds to the authentic feel of the film. Let's talk about the vampire stuff. I think the vampires were handled pretty damn well here. They felt akin to the vampires in like 30 Days of Night. They have that same sort of ancient feel about them. You really get the sense that they've been around for a long time. You have a lot of the tried and true vampire tropes here. No entry without invitation, aversion to garlic and sunlight, etc. They also have a sort of hive mind where anything one vampire knows, they all know, which I don't think I've ever seen before in other vampire media, so I thought that that was a cool addition. There's plenty of gore here too, which I appreciate a lot. Lots of blood, and there's definitely a body count. Fans of movies like The Lost Boys, From Dusk Till Dawn, and even Fright Night are sure to find something that they like about Sinners. Getting into the mixed/negative things about the movie, I think that Sinners has some pacing issues. The first act is awesome and really fun, watching all these characters interacting. It feels very genuine, and there's a lot of implied or suggested lore that helps build up the world and the history of the characters, and I was just fully bought into it the whole time. Then towards the middle and end of the movie, the pacing gets a little wonky, and things will either move a bit too slowly, and scenes are kind of dragged out, or things will move very quickly to the point of feeling a little bit rushed. There's also some logic decisions made by some of the characters that felt like they needed to be made in order for the plot to move forward, which ultimately led to me feeling like they were a little bit contrived. Honestly, these are my only real issues with the movie. I think the climactic showdown in the finale left something to be desired and honestly paled in comparison to all the great character stuff that was leading up to it. It's not a bad finale by any means, it just felt a little sloppy in its execution. Overall, I still very much enjoyed my time with this movie. Lastly, I'll just say that Michael B. Jordan in his dual roles of the Smokestack twins is really incredible. He manages to make both characters feel distinct from one another, but equally likable. It isn't as simple as good twin, bad twin. They're both written with a lot of nuance, and he plays it really well. One final thing I want to comment on is just how cool and original this movie is. Obviously, vampires are nothing new, but seeing them in this context is unlike anything I've personally ever seen before. Despite this not really being a scary movie, it has some great moments of suspense and tension, plenty of gore, and some decent jump scares. All of this while exploring those themes of religion, spirituality, cultural appropriation, and more. Anyone complaining about a lack of original films in Hollywood better put their money where their mouth is and go see this movie, because it's everything we've been missing. Movies like this just don't come along very often, and I definitely would say that Sinners is the real deal. So guys, let me know, are you planning on seeing this movie? If you have already, please let me know what you thought of it down in the comment section. Very curious to see what people are saying about this one. So anyway, like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't. We talk about new movies, old movies, physical media, and horror in general. So with all that being said, please take care and watch more movies.